Okay, okay. Well, here we go. Another, well, another type of reaction. Starslop review, Todd Edition, which, of course, this is going to be a Starfield, review of this, which honestly probably won't go too well. Especially how old is this? Over a year old, so the DLC wasn't even close to being out yet. This is probably the vanilla, probably like 1.0 version of the game, which was not that great. Um, I'll be honest with you, I thought Starfield was okay, but maybe for this person can solidify why that it's a game that's not okay, and it was actually a lot more worse than expected. Which honestly, to me, my standards are incredibly low, so maybe that's why I thought it was okay. Let's see what this man talks about. This is from your boy, um, Seth. Seth. I'm gonna go with that.
Sisters, Seth here. Let me tell you a vision of a future. In the future, white boys can finally jump with the help of a booster pack and, of course,
Mm.
low gravity. Humanity has spread across the stars in
Mm-hmm.
their multitudes of diverse races and cultures. The Red Guard, the Sons of Yakub, Hispanics, honorary Aryans, and the Fingolian Chindonesians now populate the vast expanse of
Chindonesians.
space. Naturally,
What?
we never did find a solution for automation. So in the future, the only career paths are space pirate with a voice filter, or religious extremist. Parents send children away with
It's actually facts. Yeah, those were basically the factions.
teary eyes, knowing full well their offspring will grow up to become murderous bandits before putting on their own helmets and shooting up the 7-Eleven. And the PS5 still has no games. That vision is already here, Star Sisters, because the best game ever made, no, the best game that will ever be made is already out, and there's no competition. Baldur's Gate?
Okay.
More like free hour, unskippable gay sex scene. Starfield, a masterpiece where I can live out my fantasy of being a Bangladeshi man with A10 eyes. Starfield wins Game of the Year for their food models alone. Just look at the grease on that sausage. That's the difference.
I won't lie to you. Weirdly enough, yeah, they did put detail on like on the food and things like that. I don't know why though. That was probably the only thing that they put high res, which is crazy because it's like you can basically do like what is it like photograph what is it like photograph like resolution or something like that nowadays. That's been a thing since like I think the Star Wars the Battlefront remake or reboot or something like that. That's been a thing since that back then, and that was like what 2016 or 20, yeah, somewhere around there. So, or was that earlier than that? Yeah, crazy man. How come they did that for the food, but not for everything else?
Ray tracing makes in a game like this, which runs buttery smooth on my 4090, pushing
Oh,
a
bro.
blazingly fast 17 frames a second. I'm quite fine with this since, according to the science, the human eye can only see 24 frames a second. Sometimes my saves get corrupted and I lose
Okay,
progress, but in my deep
I think
unhappiness,
that's
I
complete crap,
realize
but
I get
okay.
to have those unforgettable experiences all over again. We must imagine that we are Sisyphus, pushing the boulder forever uphill. For in the struggle, we find meaning. Ask not what Todd Howard can do for you, but instead, what you can do for Todd Howard. A good game has memorable
Oh
characters,
my
but an
god.
amazing game is one where you don't remember a single person at all. Starfield is to role playing what dementia is to the elderly. The strongest skill in this game, following tradition, is persuasion, which lets you walk away from the last fight by saying, "What if we don't?" This system works by stringing random sentences together with a cadence of a crackhead until the recipient gets visibly uncomfortable and leaves. Something that Highfleet would
I won't lie to you, that's actually pretty true. I remember just saying random things and winning persuasions. I'm just like, what the hell's going on in this game?
shamelessly steal. The true purpose of
Ooh,
persuasion,
what game is
however, is
that?
to gaslight companions. Sarah is strongly opposed to the harm of innocent people, so, appropriately, in the style of a cartel execution, I ventilate someone's cranium. She screams at me.
What the hell is the matter with you?
I persuade her that I'm sorry and I'm going to do better.
I'm not sure there's anything you can say at this point.
As strange as that sounds, I suppose that's possible.
You could auto persuade.
Look, I realize things out here can be rough, so I'm going to let this go. For now.
And then I do it again.
I accept who you are.
I'm just not sure I can travel with you on this path you've chosen.
This is, single-handedly, the most entertaining thing in this game.
Just
Oh
try
my
to be more
god.
careful in the future.
Dude, like I don't even know if this I think this might have been something like that in I don't think it was that bad in Fallout 4, but I heard that like yeah, like companions can leave and stuff. But man, like this one, you just as if you just hit the persuasion check and they're like, okay, I forgive you, over and over. I would think I would have thought that if it was done twice, then the companion would have just left. But no, I guess you could just infinitely keep hitting that skill check and doesn't matter. Then what's the whole point of having the companion leave?
Otherwise, you'll find yourself traveling alone. I am not going to help you murder you and I.
The second most entertaining thing in this game is
That's
joining
awesome.
the pirate faction as a double agent, and in the process, becoming a triple agent. I have chosen to join the war on terror. On the side of terror, I can play entire missions without shooting a single shot, because guess what? Half the entire game is now friendly to me. I watch caravans get lit up with the same interest as a youth in the projects witnessing a drive-by. The streets give, and the streets take. Story. I've had paranoid hallucinations
actually
with
pretty
more
true, yeah.
coherence than the plot of this game. Spoiler, it's Skyrim in space. You must become Starborn to use the magical Fus Roda to kill Parthenax, who in this case is other Starborn from other universes that you must defeat to go to another universe and start New Game Plus. Multiverse theory is appealing to fans of
I'll be honest with you, I hated the way how they did that. Like the whole like what is it? You restart the game, but like you keep your one things, but you lose all your gear and all that stuff. Completely hated this. That's kind of the reasons why I didn't even bother finishing the game. And on top of that, the game gives you rewards for like beating it for like 7 or so times. And I'm just like, dude, why would I do this? And on top of that, what is it? I can get gear I can roll better legendary gear than what the game gives me, but I don't know. It's
Rick and Morty because
stupid.
it implies the existence of a dimension where you haven't been molested. There's copium online that there's differences between universes and no run is the same. Yes, one place in the game changes. The emissary is always whoever dies in your current run, and there's a universe where Sarah is a
okay.
potted plant. Objectively, this is the best universe because she doesn't talk. Yet, I heard some people even romanced this creature. If you find such dialogue
romance Sarah.
captivating, I recommend intimacy with a drywall. My favorite part of the story was attending a funeral, only to interrupt it by starting a firefight. Almost everyone involved is an essential NPC, so the shootout will never end. Question: when we have an infinite amount of universes, that means we have no consequences.
Did he make his
Anything we
character
do
hella
can
fat?
be undone by walking through a portal. So why can't we kill essential NPCs? Why even have the setting if you're not going to make use of it? This aggravates me to no end because everyone I want to shoot is a higher entity made of light. For example, there's a side quest where a 200-year-old ship from Earth develops
Oh yeah. What is it? Yeah, I do think it's very stupid how like there could be different scenarios from different things, right? Depending on what your like what version of like I guess the version, not even like the different versions, just the random generation that the game did. But I'm just like, it would have been interesting if you were able to kill essential NPCs and see how that goes. But I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't even matter either way because there is no choice of importance in the game. Even though you do all these quests that are like, oh, I think there's one quest where you could free like I think you could help the people in the slums by killing the like the mayor who's intentionally like was wasting resources, and that's it. Nothing happens. Everything stays the same. The environment stays the same. The people stay the same. Nothing changes, but just a dead guy on the floor. So to me, it doesn't matter either way. So what's the point of some of this stuff?
before the invention of a grav drive, has reached the planet resort of Paradiso. You negotiate on their behalf and are given three options. 1. Send every colonist to work as an indentured slave for the corporation. 2. Pay out of pocket for a grav drive and send them to bother someone else. Or 3. Eliminate the last practicing Jew in the universe. I'm not making this up. There's a colonist on board who's preserved Hebrew rabbinical teachings. And the third option is the corporation asking you to destroy the ship. What the Austrian painter started.
Killed the last Jew. I'm pretty sure there are certain political streamers that would take that option for themselves.
Todd will finish. What is this quest design? You present me with 3 terrible options, and my immediate response is to shoot up the board of directors. But I can't, because I'm not allowed to. Because the talent in
Yeah,
this company
exactly.
has dried up and left a long time ago. But it doesn't matter, because Bethesda spits out a game every few years for their target audience. Dads. I get it. You have 2 kids, you're in your mid-30s, and you have time for exactly 3 games a year. I don't judge, we're all busy. But this game is immune to criticism because the people you're arguing with don't have that much time or investment. They see a crater, they soy pog, and then they leave. That's why if somebody defends this game, don't give them a hard time. They have it hard enough already, between beating their spouse and their children, and they still say, man can't multitask. Gameplay. This game features challenging and intriguing puzzles such as fit the shape into the shaped hole and replace the battery. Considering the majority of Xbox players have never replaced a smoke alarm, this is a novel concept, as it requires higher
Okay, first of all, that's not just Xbox players. That's just console players in general. The amount of times that I would hear people with open mics and all you hear is beeping in the background. I'll be honest with you. What is it? I remember that mine will go off randomly, and I don't know why. Even though the battery was full, I just completely removed my smoke, my smoke protector from my room, dude. I'm like, I don't want this shit. I don't want it. I hate it.
abstraction to deduce that the ubiquitous chirp in the hallway is in some way quantum connected to the set of Duracell batteries you hold in your hand. Clearly, I didn't pay enough attention during character
First of all,
creation.
they don't even hold double
once
A's. They
I
hold
finished the game, I was very
C
surprised
or
to
D
hear my
batteries. I forgot which
character's
one it was.
voice.
You made it. I hope you're enjoying the view.
Not like I missed anything. All the perks are garbage. Wanted is one of 2 perks that actually does anything, because you get bounty hunters chasing you. The other being kid stuff, which gives Americans the
Oh, you know what's the awesome thing about Wanted is that Wanted is basically a useless perk because you could go to a kiosk that you can pay off your bounty. Literally. So it's a perk that you are pretty much wanted across the galaxy. You could pay off your what is it, your bounty for like 2,000 credits or whatever it is, and then it becomes useless. I mean, I remember I did it, and then it got rid of the perk. So literally you pretty much have 2 perks. Awesome. Thanks.
experience of
Hey,
2
girl.
loving parents that aren't divorced. For the nation holding the world record in broken homes, a stable family is science fiction. I spent a bunch of time modding guns, only to find out that guns don't scale whatsoever. Attachments on lower level weapons are a waste of time. Let me tell you how you're actually
That's
supposed to
true.
do it. You fly into a level 75 zone, but instead of being insta-killed, you cast Creator's Piece, which makes enemies drop their guns. You bring them back, tweak them on a workbench, and now you no longer have to complain about bullet sponges. Personally, I enjoyed shipbuilding.
This
Yes,
is
I'm
true.
aware of
There
a Hollow
are
ship
like
exploit,
higher
but I
level
didn't really
weapons and
need
things
it
like that
because
exist.
all I ever do is one-shot the engine with electromagnetic and board their ship, after which I disarm them with Creator's Piece and individually fistfight the entire crew. It's really fun, and if I cast Parallel Self,
Hey,
I can
what are you
roleplay
doing?
as if we're having a civil dispute at the Bangladeshi border. I found out companions
Just knowing that you could do things like this, it makes it so ridiculous. I mean, it looks funny, but knowing that this exists is like, wow, this looks really stupid.
don't use ammunition, which is convenient because for some reason this game lets you craft everything except ammunition, some of which is highly specific and not sold by most vendors. In contrast, crafting ingredients
Facts.
are sold by the dozen, trivializing their collection and destroying any incentive you had to
That's the funny part is like, I believe they made it where you're able to craft ammo. I believe so, yeah. But like, I don't. A part of me believes he didn't. Did he? Did he really actually utilize the building? Because I remember hearing something like you can build ammo depots and things like that, but I don't know how true this is.
find them yourself. So, I thought it would be interesting to try make my outposts self-sufficient, using only the resources I could find. It took me 2 full days before I found a planetary source of sealant. For reference, this is a common organic ingredient necessary for most
Okay,
structures.
so you did.
And where did
Okay,
I
okay.
find it? Middle of nowhere on a toxic bio, meaning I needed to reach the bottom of a science tree and have 3 tiers into planetary habitation before I could make
The crazy thing is that all of those are based on character levels. So if you the thing that sucks about Starfield is that you actually have to construct your entire build. Like you basically have to look at the skill tree and think, okay, this is gonna be level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, all of that stuff. Because if you don't, you are going to be shit out of luck because you're gonna have to invest so much more levels to even get those perk points or whatever. It's I won't lie to you. I would rather have Fallout 4's version of this than what's in Starfield, because Starfield, it sucks. It blows.
Planetary habitation.
The
So, in
worst that
case
I've
you're ever
seen so
tempted to
far.
do what I did, don't. I remember once I saw a Live Leaks video of some Chinese farmers throwing pigs into an open pit and setting them on fire with kerosene. Starfield allows you to not only recreate this video, but use it for infinite experience. What I did was set up several alien breeding facilities and boxed them in. Then, I built a macro script to throw incendiary grenades at set intervals, firebombing all the cows, waiting for them to respawn, only to firebomb them again. I can leave my desk and come back several levels higher. Generally, however, Outpost development is a hellish experience, and that's because the game has no system to track how much you need and what you need. Your best bet for memorizing a recipe is using pen and paper. The alternative to that is jumping across load screens,
true.
walking to the vendor, buying what you assume is enough, returning to the outpost, only to find out you're missing like 2 adhesive and need to go all the way back. This game is an exercise in how many load screens can you tolerate before choosing to end it all. No wonder nobody ever got that Steam refund. We spent 2 whole hours docking and undocking. There's a lot of these transitional animations, and it's not that they're painfully goddamn slow.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I really wish that Steam can really put a system that will let you see how long it takes to complete a game. Like the developers have to put how long it takes to complete this game, and they could calculate how long that the user can estimate when it's fair enough to to be able to do a refund. Because 2 hours for a game like this is nothing. 2 hours, dude. There's definitely games out there where by the time when you really reach like exploration and all that stuff, it's like almost an hour in. So to really get a grasp on what the game really has to offer it's not even like an hour or 2 hours in. It's definitely more than that
It's that I
for
can't skip
open
them.
world
I
games like
understand
this.
that this is a small indie company and maybe resources are stretched thin between the award-winning dialogue
240
and
million.
the NPCs
Jesus.
that hit you with that fluoride stare. But when the solution is so simple and obvious, you can't help but ask, what's going on at Bethesda? Despite having no access to the construction set, the modding community has managed to fix many of the issues. However, even if they do
Jenny
release
mod.
the toolset 6 months down the line, I don't really trust this company to not screw me over. Remember, the only reason we don't have paid mods is because of pushback. Believe me, they'll try again. The
Oh,
only
yeah, they
potential
already did.
redemption of
They
this
already
game is
did.
the release of a full construction set, because the only way the fans could save this game is to wipe it clean and make something else. Look, I figured it out. I know why I'm so angry. I'm not angry at the game. It's not even that bad. I'm angry because I paid $100 for it. The king of a chess club has done it again. Each time I tell myself, no, not this time. But I already know Todd's gonna tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. And each time, I listen. I understand I've said some polarizing things, but in truth, I just needed a video because I signed a lot of contracts while drunk. So don't take anything I say seriously. It's all bait. But what if it isn't? What if it's actually my unfiltered dogshit opinion? As always, more content to come because I'm legally obligated. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful.
Yeah, this game really did have quite a bit of issues for sure, which sucks because for me, I think a lot of people really look forward to this game and just saying like personally for me, I would, and I've said this for quite a bit to to my friends and such. I just want Bethesda to use a completely different engine. That's what I want for them to do. And if they actually do that, I think they can really deliver a really great product because the thing about it is that they are using a very old and pretty much a legacy engine. And here's the thing, this engine is so old that even in their newer games, like well, I would say newer-ish, not really new per se anymore, but like when I did Fallout 4, or I think it was 76 as well. Um, was it Starfield as well? I don't remember, but but when I played those games, I'm just like, why is it that these games that are not even that old, how come I can't just simply tab out and just go into a different screen without having to minimize and such? It's because their engine is so old, is so outdated that I don't even think it can even do that. I mean, maybe they can, maybe for the newer ones like this one, he can, but I don't, I don't know. I'm still question about it, and so that's the reason why that it's small things like that really that really that disappoint me a lot with some of these for the newer Bethesda games, because they could do so much more if they went out of their way to actually build, or maybe even use other engines. I mean, if they don't want to build their own, then they could use other engines. You know, they could use Unreal 4 or 5 or something like that if they really want to, or whatever Microsoft's using. You know, Microsoft has plenty of engines that they own, so they could use some of theirs that they want, or if not, then they could build their own. It's fine. The community will find a way to actually utilize their new mod tools. It's fine. You know, if people are that diehard to figure out, you know, some of the other ones, you know, like Unreal Unities, or um, I think there was another one that I mentioned, Unreal, maybe. You know, if people are able to figure those ones out, people were able to figure out some of these other ones. But it's just like, that's just the technical side. The story was the characters are the same way as well. Eh, So I don't know, man. It's a huge investment for absolutely what? And then also, what is it? The other thing too, that Microsoft's really got to stop including their games into Game Pass. Like, yeah, like the people will play it at first, but here's the thing: not everybody's going to forget to unsubscribe, because I sure as hell haven't. When I'm like, when I see that I don't have enough money, I'm just like, well, unsubscribe. That's it, and resubscribe whenever I feel like it. And I haven't resubscribed for a while now. I'm just like, oh well. That one Chernobyl game just came out. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I look forward to playing it, but I'm just like, all right, it's out. Cool. I don't know, man. Yeah, you know, Bethesda's really got to figure something out, because if they don't, man, these guys are gonna be left in the dust. Because I honestly could care less for the next Elder Scrolls game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same about that. When they everything they experienced from 76, I mean, yeah, Fallout 4 was one thing, right? But Fallout 4 was still enjoyable in a lot of ways, you know, especially what you're able to do now with modding and stuff. Modding pretty much saved Fallout 4 essentially. Um, but yeah, like with 76, come on, everyone knows about the whole thing with 76, and then now you got Starfield. And what do you think people are going to be excited for the new Elder Scrolls? What was it called? Redfall, or I think that's what it's called. I'd be very wary if they still use the same engine, which I'm pretty sure they are. I'd be like, oh boy, prepare for more limitations for the next game. Prepare for graphic, mechanic, story, and all that limitations, because clearly, very, very clearly, they just don't. I don't know if they want to adapt to the new. Was it to the new tech or something? I don't know, but they're sure as hell gonna be left behind, man. Ain't no one cares. Ain't no one cares about. Um, ain't no one gonna be caring about for the next project if Redfall is a disaster. Ain't no one gonna care anymore. Starfield is already, with Starfield already, it looks gloomy as shit already. So if the next Elder Scrolls fails, ain't gonna do. They ain't gonna. Ain't no one gonna care anymore. Ain't no one gonna care anymore. And here's the thing: literally all the games, and this is the recording of when they did the announcements of the nominees for the Game Awards. I'm like, bro, half of the majority of those games on there are literally done by Eastern developers. None of them are from the West, or a few of them are from the West, and most of them are from the East. And I'll be honest with you, so many games that came out this year that have been complete garbage or just full of just DEI crap or whatever. They just haven't been interesting at all. So I can't. Personally for me, I can't wait for Stellar Blade to come out on PC. I think it's gonna be awesome. But everything else, I mean, I'll be honest with you. That's the reason why I just don't really get excited for games anymore. They've just been so disappointing. But anyway. Oh, all right. Well, enough ranting. This was a great review. I'll be honest with you. Some of this stuff is actually pretty facts. Well, I mean, this is what Bethesda wanted to show us on their latest thing, and clearly they don't know what they're doing anymore. Well, then, thank you so much for watching. Check you guys out next time. Peace, and hopefully, the next one's good because goodbye Microsoft. Because they're gonna be in huge. I mean, man, how much the amount of money they spend on by Bethesda and all the other associated companies. Ooh, brother. Ooh, it's gonna be. I mean, they already shut down Arcane. I mean, who who else are they gonna shut down? Good luck, man. Good luck. Peace.